Hello, Squirrel Tribe. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. It is day 3 of the RNC. For those of you who are keeping tabs on what is going on in Milwaukee, what's going on with Donald Trump, what's going on with the Republican Party, everything's going on, election, whatever. There's a lot going on the last couple days, obviously. Now, I do want to talk about something maybe a little different today, but I think a lot of us will understand where I'm coming from as soon as we really jump into this. There was a female who spoke at the RNC, and her name is Amber Rose. Now, for those of you who don't know who Amber Rose is, I will tell you who she used to be, because I don't really know who she is now. She's been out of the limelight for quite a while, but she used to be a part of the Kanye West Amber Rose duo. She was very sexual. She was very not the kind of girl you want to take home, not the kind of girl you want your daughter to be, not the kind of girl that most people would have a lot of respect for. Okay, I'm going to put it out there like that. And when I heard that she spoke at the RNC, I was like, well, that's an interesting move there, RNC. I'm kind of surprised that you have Amber Rose speaking. She walks out on stage. She has face tattoos. I mean, I get shit from a lot of people in the comments because I have tattoos on my arms. She's got tattoos on her face. She's got her children's names on her forehead. Weird place to put them, but you do you, boo. That's how I feel about that. But having her at the RNC seemed weird because from the outside, based off of everything I've ever seen of Amber Rose, you would immediately assume Democrat. You would immediately assume liberal. You would immediately assume more into everything the left is pushing versus what the right believes. That's what you think just from the outside looking, all right? And here's the problem. That whole judging a book by its cover, we have all been guilty of it. Not one single person can say they have not, because if you try to say you have not been guilty of it, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to us. But I have been guilty of it numerous times, judging a book by its cover. Now, I'm going to play you this little part from Amber Rose's speech. And when I play this, I want to have a conversation about it right afterwards. But let me show you this. The picture's going to be a little bit grainy. I apologize for that. I don't have the best service sitting in my Jeep in the middle of a parking lot, but it is what it is. You guys will be able to hear it and get the gist, and that is the important part. All right, so here we go.
Now, you may be wondering why I'm up here telling you this. I'm no politician, and I don't want to be. But I do care about the truth. And the truth is that the media has lied to us about Donald Trump. I know this because for a long time I believed those lies, so I'm here to set the record straight. The first person I knew who supported Donald Trump was my father. I was shocked. My entire family is racially diverse, and I believed the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
Look, the whole point to that, and the reason I am showing you that clip of Amber Rose is I feel like a lot of us are there. I am one of those people. In 2019, I guess, in the beginning, actually technically 2016, I was not a Donald Trump fan. I believed everything that the media was saying. I believed that he was some Oh gosh, it's awful now looking back on it, but I believe that he was fully racist. I also believe that he had inappropriate feelings for his daughter. I believed that he was a sexist, misogynist, whatever, grabber, buyer, whatever. If I want to kiss him, I grab him and kiss him. You guys know all of the quotes that we have heard, the locker room talk that was pushed all over social media and all over news and gossip outlets, right? I heard all those things and I took them for face value. I remembered seeing Donald Trump in Home Alone, Lost in New York, which I love that movie. I love New York, honestly. I love New York. My husband's from there. I have love for it because of him. And the city is beautiful most of the time, at least it was when I was there maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And I've seen Donald Trump in numerous movies, and I loved him in movies, but I didn't really expect him to be, a president of the United States. It made no sense to me. And then I would see everything that media was putting out. But again, before 2020, my eyes were closed. My brain was not focused on what it needed to focus on. I was take it for what they're telling you and keep it moving. That changed when COVID hit. That changed when Biden took office. Everything changed for me in 2020. And just like Amber Rose said, I believed Donald Trump was racist. I believed all these negative things. And I would have people on Facebook that would say, they would say something and I would be like, whatever. And somebody one day posted on Facebook, probably in 2020, right before Biden won in 2020, they posted something on Facebook along the lines of, everybody who's talking crap about Donald Trump, what do you have to back it up? And I stopped and I thought about it. I was like, well, everything I've heard, is that really good enough to back up your thoughts because you've heard it? And I realized, no, the answer is no. I am just as bad as everybody else out there who does no research of their own, who just takes everything at face value, who judges a book by its cover, who just lets the media, the left-leaning media, tell me what to think and what to do. I was that person. And so I was like, all right. And just like Amber Rose, I said, let me look into this and see what I can find. Y'all, I couldn't find anything that showed that he was racist. I couldn't find anything that showed that he was disgusting, right? And I used to like loathe him as a human. I was like, oh, he'll be fine for a president, after he talked about the things he wanted to do. I was like, maybe he'll be okay. Towards the end of his term, I was like, hey, this is much better. And I learned from opening my eyes, opening my ears, doing my own due diligence to learn about him that he is not a bad person. And I feel like there's a lot of people like Amber Rose who book judge by the cover. You're looking at them going, well, obviously they're a Democrat. Obviously they're liberal. Obviously they have no conservative views. Obviously they're this, that. And we just don't know. Everybody looks different these days. No, we're not all cookie cutter, right? Everybody looks different. And you don't know how people think, how people feel, what they really want in life. I can guarantee that we all, just like Amber Rose said in her speech at the RNC, we all want a better world for our children, right? And so she says the best way to get that is to vote Donald Trump in 2024. I agree with it only because I don't believe that Biden's policies are going to help anybody. Not because I think Trump as a person is better, maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but his policies will be better. And for me, that's what I have to pay attention to is the policies. When I was younger, I would let my thought of, the person outweigh what was true. I would be based off of looks. I would be based off of what I heard. I would be based off emotion as opposed to based off fact or, proof of anything. And the older I get, the more I realize that is an ignorant way to live your life. And I have no problem admitting that prior to COVID, I was ignorant on a lot of things. And since then, my eyes have opened a lot and I've learned a lot more. And I will say that for me personally, I might not ever wear a MAGA hat. I may never put one on. It just won't occur to me. And red looks awful on me. I already look like a tomato. I don't need to wear red. It's not a good look. If you made it in black, maybe. If you made it in blue, green, but red, it doesn't work for me. My skin tone won't allow it. But I have no problem now being the person to say, hey, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Hey, I like Donald Trump. Hey, I believe that this Republican man can do a better job than that Democrat man. Hey, you know what? I believe that this conservative value is more important than that liberal stuff. And it used to be that I wouldn't want to say stuff like that. I'd be like, oh no, people are going to look at me like I've lost my ever-loving mind because I'm like, I support Trump. You don't at the end of the day, who gives two shits what people think of you? That's pretty much what I've learned the older I've gotten. Everybody, wait, how does it go? I've said it before and I can't remember how it goes. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Okay, cool. I voice my opinions out here to y'all. Y'all know that all the time. But people have opinions of me and who I am, what I believe in, what I like, whatever, based off the outside. Oh my God, you're trash. You have tattoos. I can't take anything you say seriously. You're obviously too liberal for me. Okay, it's just a tattoo, my dude. Like, calm yourself. Oh, you're married to a black man, obviously, blah, blah, blah. That's just ignorant beyond all belief, just so we're all fully aware there. But I do believe that the older we get, the more we realize that basing our thoughts and opinions off of what we hear versus what we take the time to learn for ourselves is I don't even know where I started with that. I don't know. Over time, I've learned not to do that. There we go. There was a car that was like pulled in right next to me and it got way too close to me, and I'm trying not to look at it and look at the driver like, ma'am, hello, stay in your own space. So I got distracted. I apologize for that. But I will say that I'm hoping that more and more people will step back from the judgy section. Although I know I've sounded judgy numerous times where I'm talking about, you know, how the left this, the left that. And yeah, that's judgy only based off of fact. I'm judging based off fact in those moments, not based off of, you know, hearsay. It's based off facts in those moments. I'll be judgy against the right sometimes too. And I'll be judgy straight down the middle. It just depends on the situation and what I have learned and what facts go along with that emotion, right? But I feel like as we get closer to election time, we all have got to step back and not look at things from an emotional standpoint. We have to look at things from a who will actually do a better job. Now, people will say, like Amber Rose said in her RNC speech, she said, you know, we can stop and look and see that the country was better under Donald Trump, 2016, 2020. That's true. The country has been kind of, you know, crappy from 2020 to 24. But we also do have to take into consideration COVID. If Trump had been in office from 2020 to 2024, would we still be better? Would we be exactly where we are? Would we be worse? We will never know. The two presidents had to deal with a totally different term in office, right? So you have to think about that. You also have to step back and go, well, Biden had to deal with this. Trump had to deal with this. They did not have to deal with the same thing at the same time. So therefore, the country itself is not going to react the same. We're not going to have the same end at the 4 years from either one of them. And these, again, are thoughts that have to be had. And you have to be very open and honest with yourself about what you think each presidential candidate can do. You have to stop and look at what they did with what they had to work with, and then look at where we are and what you think that person can do the next 4 years with what they have to work with and where we are. And whether it's for Biden or for Trump, you have got to make that decision based off of fact and not emotion. At the end of the day, it can't be emotional, because emotion can ruin things for a lot of people. When you just run off emotion, you're not paying attention to what really, really matters at the end of the day. So for me, stepping back and going, hey, we're not doing this emotionally. We're doing this based off of what is best for, what's best for my daughter, what's best for me and my husband, what's best for my community, what's best for my state, what's best for my country, what's best for the people in general. Like, you have to look at it that way, and that's how I'm doing. So I just want to put that out there. I know a lot of people were making faces at the fact that Amber Rose was on the Republican National Convention stage. But again, the outside of how a person looks does not tell you anything about who they are on the inside. It does not tell you anything about how they feel, how they think. And I think we all need to remember that as we move on, because everybody looks different. Everybody looks different. We may all be white in this group or black in that group or Hispanic or Asian, but at the end of the day, everybody looks different. We don't all have the same eyes. We don't have the same, mannerisms. We don't have the same body style. We don't have the same hair. We don't have, you understand what I'm saying? So we've got to stop judging a book by its cover. We have to learn what's inside the book, read the pages basically, and then make your decision on things. So that's that. That's totally random, but that's that. I'm very interested for what's going to happen at the RNC today and tomorrow. There was that stabbing yesterday, and then last night, I did not look it up this morning because I was waiting to do a different video, but I did hear that there was a masked person, I think they said gunman, last night at the RNC, or outside the RNC. So I got to look into that, because again, it seems like we're creeping up the threats There's more threats than you would expect. I don't remember this many threats last election, but maybe it's because they hid them or they quieted them down, and this year they want them to be more upfront. Who knows? But anyway, I will be back with more later. I just wanted to have that Amber Rose conversation because, again, it's an important one to have. We got to have all the conversations, all the topics, and I appreciate you all immensely, Squirrel Tribe, for letting me have these conversations with you. I love you all. Have a fabulous part of your hump day, because I will see you again later. Okay, bye.